What's up, everyone? It's Chicks in the Office with Rhea and Fran, giving you that Friday energy on a Monday. Happy Monday, everybody. We are back. We did not have an episode last Friday due to our shows and our traveling, but we are back again this Monday, and now the schedule will remain the same going forward throughout the tour, so we are thankful for that. But guys, this podcast is presented by Macy's. Now, leading up until the Thanksgiving Day Parade, Macy's is having a sale. Guys, holiday season is around the corner. It's basically here, one might say, and you want to get those gifts. They have a great gift guide and so much more going on at Macy's.
They do. They have a sale running right now until November 13th. You can get deals on the cold weather essentials you need and the gifts to pick up now, like beauty and fragrance gift sets, cute family pajama sets, holiday candy, and more. They have great beauty gift sets. I think that's such an easy, fun, good gift around this time of year when you're looking for somebody and maybe you don't know like the exact type of makeup or skincare they like, but everyone loves a gift set. They can try things out, see what they like. And then there are new online only deals every day as Macy's counts down to the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, which is always a smash hit. Macy's is giving me a little bit of the Invisalign, you know?
Yeah.
I hit that Macy's. I went, ooh, that one didn't sound great. That one didn't sound great. But could not be more excited for the holiday season. Almost here. Love the Thanksgiving Day Parade. Such a fun time around the city. And jump on that holiday shopping. I know we've been searching Macy's for some gift guides and things that we love. And we got a long list. So we're excited to share some items that we are gifting to friends and family this year as well. So you can shop at Macy's.com.
Yes, gifting to friends and family and also gifting to myself. Okay, I picked up a couple things for myself
Hell
as well.
yeah.
So I'm very excited about that. But head to Macy's.com or a local Macy's near you. It's Monday. We are back in New York. We've been traveling a bunch. We went to Kansas City, Nashville. How are we feeling today?
I feel good. I think we had some amazing shows. I think it was a crazy week last week, and being with our listeners and these awesome girls, these awesome, people in general. We met some amazing people, girls and guys.
Yeah.
And just had some great conversations, and it was just nice to have that in-person interaction and kind of have that spirit around us and have some fun, some laughs at the show. I think we needed it. I think they needed it. It was a lot of fun. So, it felt good. We're happy to be back now.
For sure. We had posted last week because we recorded our episode before the election results. We didn't know how it was going to play out, but we had posted that we were happy to provide a podcast, a distraction, some laughs, and our live shows was a great place for everyone to come out and just have a good time.
Exactly.
And like you
while
said,
there's always some negative, the positive massively outweighs. So thank you to everyone that sent us sweet messages about that last week too, who were just like, you know what, this is kind of what I needed today. So
for sure,
that helped us a lot too.
Yeah, of course. And we had so many great messages, like you said, and so many great conversations in person, and meeting you guys in real life. And it's just the best feeling in the entire world. So to have those shows last week and more shows coming up, we can't wait. We really had a great time. And I think a lot of people had a great time as well. We received so many great messages after the show, throughout the weekend, in person. And the shows were awesome.
They were. Kansas City was amazing. You guys showed up. You were loud. You were fun. It was great. Nashville's always a party, you know? You can't avoid a party in Nashville.
You cannot.
And we had the whole weekend there, which was so much fun. We had the plus ones, the husband and the fiance.
Yep.
Were with us in Nashville, which was a lot of fun. And between the show and we did a little meet and greet on Saturday, and then we had the party bus.
Yeah. We went show, party, show, meet and greet, party, home.
We went out. We had a lovely dinner. We had quite the meal. That is a little foggy for me, to be quite honest.
Yeah,
once and then these guys went out. I went to bed after that. That was as far as I could make it.
listen, we had quite the week because we had our Kansas City show on Wednesday. Amazing crowd.
Yeah.
Amazing barbecue in Kansas City, by the
Yeah.
way. We went to Q39,
We did,
which is
and
a
it was
highly requested
so
place.
good.
It was so fucking good. And then
I'm
Thursday,
still thinking about those ribs.
it was so, oh my God, the ribs. Oh, baby back. Yeah. Amazing ribs. And then Thursday morning, we woke up right away, hit the planes in Nashville. We were in Nashville. And then, like you said, your husband, my fiance, other people from Barstool came to join us. And we had our show in Nashville on Friday. We had an after party Friday night at the Barstool Bar in Nashville. Then Saturday, we had the meet and greet, a lovely meet and greet with Rumhaven. Amazing, delicious cocktails, by the way. And that was so much fun that you guys that were in Nashville and took the time to come to both our show and the meet and greet the next day. Like the people that just showed, like that is just, it really means the world to us. And just to meet you guys in person and to like laugh and have fun and feel like we're all friends. And so the best part is when girls and guys come up to us and say like, oh, I feel like you guys are my friends. I feel like I've known you. And they're like, oh, you probably think that's weird. It's like, no,
not
I do
at all.
not think that's weird at all. I actually feel the same way. Like when
That's
we
our
get
goal.
on, when we get on here, like I feel like I'm talking to my friends, like not just sitting across from you, but I feel like I'm on the phone with my friends on the other side of it. So it was really a great experience, Kansas City and Nashville. And then after the meet and greet on Saturday, we hit up a little Christmas theme bar in Nashville, which we were getting into the holiday spirit early, which was a lot of fun.
We stayed at the bar was in the restaurant of the hotel we stayed at, and when we were looking at, they give you the little card with all the restaurants and stuff, and I was like looking at it, and I clicked on the bar online, and it was like, oh, come see, it's called Hidden Bar, so they called it Hiddenville for like Whoville, and it was like starting November 7th, and I was like, oh, yes, it's
right on
just
time.
Started. So we went down there, which was so cute, totally like all decorated, Grinch themed drinks. There were some good shots, some flavored shots, some holiday shots.
Yeah, I think I finally let myself let loose a little bit after the meet and greet on Saturday. I don't like to drink too much before our shows anymore because I realize that I actually do better when I don't really do that. So I'll just have like a shot or something before the shows. But Saturday after the meet and greet, I was like, all right, it's let loose time.
Yeah.
We had the Christmas themed shots in Whoville. We went on a little party bus around Broadway.
We did.
Which was a scene. And then a dinner that we somehow all miraculously made it to after that party bus, which was...
Even Joe.
We were like all soaked because it was raining.
Oh my God, it was pouring rain.
It was... What sucks is like Nashville is such a... like bar hop, walk around, see different things. Like, and it was pouring rain for like 2 days. So that was not ideal. But I think once we all got into the right headspace on the bus, the rain was okay. We did eventually have to put the flaps down because it was raining like sideways.
I gotta be honest, guys, I didn't even notice the rain. And then the next morning, I realized my purse was absolutely soaked. Like it was.
I'm not gonna lie. I know. When I saw where you had it hanging, I was like, oh no.
I don't know what I was thinking, but it's still drying out. It's still trying to get dry.
Water was pouring into that thing for a little while.
Everything in it is soaked.
Yeah.
Everything about it is soaked. But I was having such a good time, I didn't even notice. And that's the goal.
That's how, like, Joe had spent a lot of time leaning against the side. So when we got off and we went back to the room, I was like, oh my God, your entire back is soaking wet. Like you're like, you flip over, you're dry in the front and soaking wet on the back.
Yeah.
So
it was a great time though.
We had the dinner was delicious.
Sinatra Lounge.
It was just like a really funny change of pace. Like we went from this party bus to like, okay, everyone stop back. We'll meet at the restaurant where we're blasting music. You did a great job DJing, by the way.
Thank you.
Nailed it.
And in another life, I'd be a DJ.
But then we like walked into Sinatra's and they were like, oh, like no hats, and there
I
was
didn't even
just
know they said that.
there was a man crooning, singing Frank Sinatra songs, and it was like, you
Chris
know,
Malta
red leather
Thompson.
seat booths, and like it was like a nice establishment, and we just rolled in like a bunch of wet dogs,
and we
yeah, I was like,
switched
oh
to
man,
dirty martinis and red wine.
yeah.
It was delicious.
It was good,
though.
though.
Seriously, some great food. But we had a great trip as a team and a great time with our listeners who took the time out to come to both shows. I mean,
We had quite the time at the Barstool Bar as well.
We did
after the show.
It was. I had to take my shoes off at some point. They were hurting so bad. I have some
Yeah.
funny pictures from that. But no, I mean the crowds they just blow me away every time. I mean, both crowds, both places, everybody who shows up. Like I'm always. I'm gonna like start tearing up, which I don't really want to do. It's Monday, but it really does mean the world that I it's still so surreal. Like on the way home, I'm like thinking to myself, like, wow, people like show up and want to come to our shows and want to meet us in person and want to hang out, and like it's really just such a surreal, amazing feeling. So thank you to everybody who came to the shows, and thank you to the people who support and listen who don't come to the shows. I mean, that's great too. You know what I mean? It's just it's always just mind blowing to me every time we do one of these tours. So we have another stop in Detroit on Saturday, Buffalo next week, Boston will be the last one.
Yeah. And a big big shout out and thanks to our guests too, who are great. Really appreciate Joey and Kelsey making that trip with us. You know, he's deep in the Dancing with the Stars season right now. He's a fan favorite, so it was really, really, really nice that they flew out from LA to come do that with us. And Liv and Kayla are an absolute blast. Those two are living life to the fullest right now, as they should. Yeah. And they hadn't been to Nashville, so they were getting their whole Nashville fix, but I was truly peeing my pants when they rolled into the Barstool Bar, and they wear matching outfits everywhere they go.
Yes.
And they were matching outfits for the show, and then they wanted to go back. Liv really wanted to change, and so I thought Liv was just the only one that was going to change, but no, when Liv and Kayla showed up at the bar, still
It was like the Met Gala.
they had matching outfits again.
Second look.
But they have they're doing the whole YouTube vlog life thing now, which as they should. I think coming off a reality show, that's such a good route to go because people are so interested in what you're doing in your life. So they rolled in the big camera with the flash and the big entrance, and I'm just like, oh my god, this is so. I just stood in the side for a while and just watched. I was like, this is just so entertaining, and it really was. And they're doing their thing right now.
It was
a good time.
They're wilding out. They're just going for it.
There may have even been a Montana Boys sighting for us at the Barstool Bar Friday night.
The Montana
Two
Boys.
of them.
Yes. Mark and
one of the other ones.
Mark and the boys.
Mark and the boys.
Mark and the Montana Boys.
Yeah, the Montana Boys. They showed up, and it was just really funny seeing a collab between Kayla and Liv and the Montana Boys. I was like, what alternate universe are we living in right now? And we're just sitting on the side being like, oh, this is what's happening right now.
It was so funny. And then somebody they brought out I really felt like a fan. I was like, you guys had left.
Yeah.
And I'm watching them bring out a new bottle. So they're doing the bottle service, everything. And the sign says Cedo and Love Island, but it was Liv and Kayla at the table, and I was sitting. For a second I had my phone out and I was like, oh, this is major fangirl energy. I'm that's have that signs for me.
Right. You have to remind yourself wait, this is our party. That's our sign.
I was actually cracking up. I was like, what am I doing? But I was I was really laughing. And Liv and Kayla also were with these older women that they had met on a cruise. I don't know. They live a fascinating life. I'm telling you, it really is so interesting. These women,
they roll deep.
I thought they were their moms.
They
for
do
a second.
roll deep.
And they were like, oh no, we met them on Kayla was I met them on a cruise. We just became best friends. And they wanted to come to Nashville, so we're all in Nashville together.
I can't wrap my head around it, but you know what? You do you. You know what I mean?
No,
like
that's
they're
why-
just like on another planet right now, and I'm like, go live that life.
No, I loved it, which is why I was sitting there and I'm like watching one of these like these ladies like taking pictures with the Montana boys. And I'm like, what the fuck am I watching?
No, I have such a funny picture
Oh
of
man, it was funny.
Maddie standing in front of Mark and the cruise lady taking a picture. I'm gonna include it in my roundup of
Yeah,
when I
yeah,
post Nashville
it's
pictures on
really
Instagram. I'm like,
funny.
I have to include this on there. But yeah, it was a wild weekend. It was a wild
Yeah.
weekend. I'm still collecting my brain. I feel like pieces of my brain kind
Yeah.
of just like scattered on the ground of Nashville, and I'm kind of collecting them
I
together
know,
right now.
and our flight was delayed on Sunday, so we got home later than we had wanted to. So then, like then the day is like a wash.
Can I-
But the Eagles won, so that's good. I haven't really talked about the Eagles at all.
Oh, congrats. Go Eagles. EAGLES, Eagles.
First time they've won in Dallas in like 7 years.
Woo!
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yep,
That's
6, 7
awesome.
years.
That's
Thanks.
great. I will say getting home yesterday was like the amazing race for me. If you want to hear my layout of how I got
you
home.
You guys did. But honestly, weren't you happy you did it?
Very happy
Yeah.
I did it. But we landed in JFK. We took the air train to Jamaica. We took the train from Jamaica to Penn Station. We took the subway, and then realized that the subway was not going to stop at the stop that we needed. Got off the
shit.
subway, took an Uber to
this
the
was
World
after
Trade
I
Center, and
left
got
you
on the
guys.
path, and then got home. So I took a train, a subway, an Uber, and a path to get back.
Yep.
I took a plane, a train,
Yeah.
a subway, an Uber, and a train to get home to
And
my fucking apartment.
It probably
yesterday.
still would have taken you longer to just Uber, from JFK to
the traffic
Jersey City.
was fucking insane.
I'm so happy I went to LaGuardia.
Even the 5-minute Uber that I took
Yeah.
from the subway to the next train station took way longer than it had to from the city
Yeah.
traffic. So, oh my God, I felt like I was on the Amazing Race getting home yesterday, and then I devoured some delicious Indian food. Oh
Yeah.
my God, it was so fucking good.
When we were on the train, you were like, I'm going home. I'm going right to bed. And then you were like, well, I'm going to shower and I need to eat. But after that, I'm getting right into bed.
After that, it's showtime, baby. I'm getting right into bed.
I know. It was actually nice. Like, I don't know how he did it. He operates differently. But Joe like got on a really early flight Sunday because it was when he had booked his flights. It was later, and honestly, the flights to and from Nashville are so expensive. Like, I know Nashville's a hot spot, but like it was crazy
they're
how expensive these flights were.
ridiculously expensive.
So he left super early, which was nice in the fact that when I entered the apartment, chili was on the stove, ready to go. He was
that's
like, "What do you want me to
delicious.
make?" I said, "Oh, I could go for a big bowl of chili tonight."
and it was all rainy and
Yeah,
stuff.
got cornbread,
Delicious.
Fritos. Oh my god,
I love
it was
Fritos and
honestly, it was really good. So that was nice. But
that
yeah,
sounds
ready to
amazing.
start. It is nice. We're gonna be here kind of all week, but we're it's like when you get into the groove. And then you slow down and you got to jump back in the groove,
Well, that's what I was saying to you guys. I wish we
Yeah.
were just doing another show tonight. Like, I wish we were just go, 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 go.
know.
Like, we're rock
We haven't had a
stars. but-
Saturday show in years, I feel like.
No, we
right?
haven't. This will be a great one.
Have we ever had a Saturday
Yeah,
We
show?
did. We had
Scottsdale, I think.
Scottsdale.
Oh, right.
Yes, we did. So, for the people of Detroit, where we're coming this weekend, if you guys have a bar that you recommend going to after the show, please let us know in our
send us-
DMs.
send
Send
us
us some
some
recommendations. And dinner recommendations as well in Detroit.
Yeah.
Please let us know.
I had people already being like, go to Mom's Spaghetti, like the M&M place. And I was like, is it good? And they were like, eh.
no,
But it's just like
yeah.
you say you went there, but
You just say you went there. No, I'm looking for some deep dish,
Should we
Oh, yeah.
some Detroit style.
should we recreate 8 Mile
like, what
whole
part?
movie.
scene by scene?
Just
The rap
the
battle?
entire
No,
movie.
you missed it at the Jersey
What?
Shore. Remember, we kept saying we had inside jokes when you went to sleep.
Oh,
It was an 8 Mile thing. Oh, now you're missing it again. Oh my God, wait, but your hair. You're literally Eminem.
my
I
God,
know.
Oh my God,
I
we-
said, should I show
we-
up to the show and just baggy ass
No,
clothes?
we have to
Oh my
film
God, we have
scenes
to
of
do-
him.
we-
Like,
I was gonna say we got to do some TikToks. You got to do
we
some
absolutely
TikToks.
do. We do. Oh my God.
Yeah. We totally do.
Call me B Rabbit when we're there.
Oh my God, that is so funny. We have to do that. All right, let's get into the rest of the show. We are going to be talking about everything that happened with Bri and Zach over the past week more.
What a week.
What a freaking week with that.
What a week.
We're going to be talking about Grammy nominations. JT from Southern Charm has announced his departure, which I think, we're all pretty okay with.
Couldn't have come sooner.
Yes, and Ariana Grande said that she is stepping away from pop music and is going to be stepping more into Broadway, comedy, all of that. And we also have a weekly watch report. So let's get into the topics. If you're planning a wedding right now, or somebody's planning a wedding, I'm getting married in April and I just finished my registry, about to send out some bridal shower invitations. Well, I'm not doing that. My mother's doing that. But I also did my save the dates, all thanks to Zola. Zola has an app online that makes it incredibly easy on your phone to do all of this. So when we were doing our registry, we sat together on the couch, looked at the app, added a bunch of things, and also that's how we did the save the dates as well. With Zola, you can plan your entire wedding in one convenient place. From the day you get engaged and search for the venue to the day you send your save the dates, make your registry, and even taste your cake, Zola has literally everything you need to make the whole process super easy and actually enjoyable. There's even a 5-star app. Like I mentioned, I have it on my phone. That's how I set up my registry. That's how I did my save the dates. That's how I did my guest list, all on Zola's app. And Zola helps couples plan the wedding they really want. With tons of unique features and personalized recommendations based on a couple's preference, every Zola wedding is as unique as the couple planning it. So start planning at Zola.com. That's ZOLA.com. Once again, start planning at Zola.com, ZOLA.com. So a lot has transpired between Bri, aka Brianna Chickenfry, aka Brianna LaPaglia. However, you may know her on the internet, because I think people get confused. And Zach Bryan. And we all know that they broke up, and we talked about their breakup on this podcast, and Zach posted on his story, and Bri didn't know he was going to post it. And then they released the BFFs episode last week, talking about their breakup. But before they released the BFFs episode about the breakup, Josh and Dave released a diss track about Zach Bryan, the smallest man. Yes,
which would be Josh Richards and Dave Portnoy.
Yes, for people who may not know, we're giving context here. Josh Richards, Dave Portnoy. Dave Portnoy is our boss. Josh Richards, famous from TikTok. They are on the BFFs podcast with Bri. They released the smallest man diss track, and let me tell you, this diss track was extremely catchy. It's
so good.
Some amazing one-liners in there. Shout out to Roan, who also works here, who was on the podcast recently talking Real Housewives. He's one of the world's best battle rap champions ever, so he's very good at that stuff. And there's also other people who had a lot to do with that as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I've seen a lot of discourse on TikTok of who wrote what and what line is from who, because some, there's like, I think Josh's verse was written by somebody else. I think it was a collab with Josh as well. And then Roan wrote Dave's. Jet Ski was involved as well as another Barstool employee. It's a collaborative effort. I mean, all the names were listed on the song. And I mean, they just knocked it out of the park. They really, really did. It is so good. It's so catchy. I was singing it in my sleep, like singing it in my head before I went to sleep last night. It was still stuck in my head.
I know, same. And I think if we even sing it on this podcast, we might get copyrighted.
No, truly, it's crazy.
It's been taken down every single platform. You basically can't find it really anywhere right now.
You guys did a sing along.
We did a sing along at both live shows. How lucky is Bri?
Yep.
But I don't want to get. We don't want to get copyrighted.
Yep.
So we won't sing it. Zach Bryan blocked us on Chicks in the Office.
Sure did.
I think he's blocked majority of Barstool employees at this point, but the diss track was awesome, so have to talk about that first. But yeah, that got taken down off of every single platform, not just because of Zach Bryan's music being at the tail end of it, because of his song How Lucky Are We, which was just stolen from Bri's tattoo, but we'll get into that, was put at the end of that diss track. Josh has a contract with Warner's Music that he, I guess, forgot about.
Which also is Zach's label.
Zach's record label. I guess Josh maybe just it slipped his mind, and they basically were like, well, we own all of Josh's music, so you can't put this out. And so I think it was Zach Bryan's team, Warner, they took down the music everywhere. And so then Dave decided to make another one, Dave's version, which we'll talk about because that happened after the podcast. So rewind a little bit, diss track gets put out, gets taken off of everywhere. It's really good. People are loving it, but you can't find it anymore.
Yeah. Catchy as hell.
BFF's episode comes out Thursday night, and Brie details the events of what led to her breakup and things that have transpired in their relationship throughout the year. And I think plain and simple, what Brie was dealing with was a narcissistic, abusive man, which has clearly come to light with a lot of the stories that she told. I think that Brie is also keeping in a lot of stories, and I think that's totally her right. She declined a $12 million, or now they're saying it was really $12.9 million, so closer to $13 million.
Round up.
NDA that Zach's team offered her to not talk about him. Dave couldn't talk about him. Josh couldn't talk about it. All of Barstool Sports couldn't talk about him. And Brie denied that. And I think for Brie, she told, a lot of stories that paints the picture of who Zach Bryan is and was in that relationship and past relationships that she was not a part of. But I think it's totally her right to not share every single story, because really this breakup only happened, 2-3 weeks ago? Yeah. I'm sure she's still processing a lot of things that happen. And a lot of times in relationships, it takes weeks, months, years to come to terms with things that have happened and kind of label them for what they were. Yeah. And I think that's sort of what Brianna is trying to say here too, is like she's sharing some stories, but there's some things that she does not plan on sharing maybe ever, for the sake of herself, for the sake of her, if she has kids later, she doesn't want them to hear these stories. And I think that's totally her right. I totally respect that. But the stories that she did end up telling on the podcast, I mean, it's clear as day that this was he's just a straight up abusive piece of shit.
Yeah, I think it's very fair too, because after you get out of a relationship like this, I think she's looking back at a lot of these moments, and it's stories and events that she has to come to terms with and accept, and she's looking back at it in a different lens, and it's his behavior. And she said even for even for myself, I'm embarrassed, with some of her own actions, which of course were stemming from having to deal with Zach, and everything that was happening with him. So I think it was fair. I think she did a good job in saying this is a glimpse into things that went on, and you can kind of connect the dots here a little bit. And I know that there's been 9 million questions, and it's all it is my entire For You page. It was just dominated all week, and everyone's making a lot of assumptions, which can be dangerous as well. But I did see one TikTok, and I can't remember who made this, but it was somebody known, but now I'm forgetting who it was. So excuse me for forgetting, but basically saying hey, yes, Zach was offering 12 million or whatever, how much it was, but good for her because, it was they said it was going to be paid out over 3 years, and the lawyers were probably stalling because they were probably trying to come up with some absolute ironclad, insane contract where, yes, that 12 million sounds crazy. It's a massive number, but they the teeny, tiny fine print could be hey, if one thing happens or one thing is stepped out of line, and which is why they were trying to bring Barstool into it too. Because those lawyers were hey, let's loop in the rest of Barstool, where let's put a clause where if Barstool says something, Brie doesn't get the money. Yeah. So it's it's no, crazy where that's happening, where it's yes, 100%, it's such a huge number, but those lawyers would have tried everything to make her 100%. Life miserable for 3 years for her to not see that full amount. And I think that could not be more true. So it is just extremely impressive that she did not take that money. Like she said on the show, I was somebody before him. I'll be somebody after him. I have her career. I'm not you can't just silence me and think that I am gonna give up my life and my career and everything that I love and that I do, because that really seems to be the direction he wanted her to go in. Like, it seemed like he really wanted a girlfriend, wanted somebody that was just gonna follow him around all the time and, you know, kiss his ass and tell him how great he is and not ever do anything on her own. Because even she said, they said during the show when she was renegotiating her contract, Zach offered to pay her double the amount that Barstool had offered her to just not work.
It's insane.
To just not work at Barstool. And it's crazy because she did say, you know, I feel like Zach was really trying to taint my opinion of Barstool and like working there and everything. And checks out.
It really does.
It really felt like from people that work here, like it did feel that way. Like for a while it was like, oh, she kind of thinks she's better than us in a way where she's like out. And now it's so clear that he was so in her head and in her ear, like telling her, you don't need to be there, you don't need to do this, all this stuff. Well, it's great. She was like, I love working here.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm just so happy that Brie is back to posting and showing things of her life, because that's the Brie we always knew. That's the Brie that I met, you know what I mean? Like when she first came here, and like just being herself and not afraid to, like, you know, we dress however she wants, dye her hair color, whatever she wants, just be herself. And it's like, it was very, very clear throughout this entire year that something was up with this man. And that's why when we talked about their breakup and we said we hope she exposes him, is because it was very clear that like something was just off. Like Brie was just not being herself.
I mean, you can even tell from social, like there's the way her TikTok has changed in the last year, you know?
Yeah, it's
posting so much, sharing, laughing, having fun, sharing her life. And like the last few months, it was crickets. Yeah. Because it just felt like she was always having to come to his defense or like hide things for him.
And it was very clear that she was giving up herself for him to protect him. Stories that came out about him, she would get online and defend him. And let me tell you, the people who just like, they just refuse to have any empathy or sympathy or anything, who continue to just shit down Brianna's throat. I'm like, seriously, just open up your eyes. Open up your eyes to what was happening here. It is very clear what this man was doing to her and making her feel a certain way. And also the fact that she made it entirely clear that she thought he was a totally different person in the first 4 months of them dating. He showed this character to her that she got tricked into, and then throughout the rest of the year continued to try to make herself believe that this
love bombing 101,
that this man who she was presented at first was the man that she was dating, and it was not. So for the people who were like, oh, well, she did love him at one point. Yeah, no shit, because he was portraying somebody who is not him. And that happens all the time, a lot of times. And I've seen people share videos of Zach on TikTok. Oh my God, look at how nice he's being in this video. Yeah, because he is having an outward interaction with a fan, and he wants everyone to think he's the nicest guy ever. And this happens all the time. The people out there that just portray the nicest person ever act behind the scenes are really not that.
It's like when Ellen, everything came out and people were like, well, she was always nice to me. It's like, that doesn't mean that she was.
No, it doesn't. And it happens more often than people think, that the people that have this online perception of, oh my God, I'm so sweet and da da da. And behind the scenes, they're really just not that. And it's so clear that's what happened with him. And it's like, so for people to just get online and be like, well, Brianna, you know, she loved him. But yeah, because he was lying to her in the beginning and made her believe something that wasn't real. And somebody responded to my story. This woman responded to my story because we posted how we did a sing-along at our show. And they were like, this is so petty and immature, da 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 da. I said, it's really pathetic that you are on here defending an actually abusive man. Like, this man does not offer $12 million because he did nothing. Okay? That you don't offer $12 million because you were a saint. You just would, like, you just wouldn't. You just don't.
You don't have to.
You don't have to offer the money because you have nothing to hide.
Yeah. Yep.
He offered $12 million for a fucking reason. And if people can't see that, then they just want to, you know, believe their own narratives because he's a good singer and whatever. But props to Brie because she was able to get on there and tell her story and is in a different position than other people may be to get on and tell their stories as well. I think we have to acknowledge that too, because there's a lot of people who, you know, I think Brianna posted on her story, like, if I can leave somebody, you know, in power, then you can leave like somebody from your hometown. But like at the same time, a lot of people don't have the platform that Brianna has to like talk about these things publicly. So
or just even the resources, it's so hard. I mean, she has like, you can see it is hard and really scary, but you know, I think she also had that sounding board of when she was talking with Josh and Dave about what they even wanted to do, because I think that like it's interesting to see what happens with the future of the show, because Dave had kind of talked about it at the beginning of the episode, like his plan was to not be on BFFs for much longer. So it's just kind of like you have to talk about the future of what you think the show's going to be, but like Brie clearly felt like she had enough support in that moment to like be like, okay, I will be okay. You know, it's like it's crazy. It's a crazy amount of money. You go back and forth. She said it was really tough, you know, especially when you have other people like me, maybe you have family members, whoever it is, like, take the money. It's a life-changing amount of money for sure. But like I was saying before, you know, they were going to make it extremely difficult for her to get that entire sum. And now, you know, she's free to live her life the way she wants to, and it's still her stories. Two people in a relationship, he doesn't get to control the entire narrative of their relationship. She gets to own that she was also in that relationship.
For sure. And I am seeing like a lot of TikToks now and a lot of people talking about their own experiences with men or women in their life that have had this happen to. And I hope people can find the right resources to help them as well to leave these situations, because I do feel like a lot of people feel like they are stuck sometimes. So I hope that even like, because I saw Brianna post that like she's had people come to her be like, you know what, this is giving me the motivation I need to leave, which is a great thing, but also finding those resources and the support system and the people around you to help is great as well. So it just opened up a larger conversation online, I think, especially with the whole money being offered to be silenced as well. But yeah, the whole thing is just, it's crazy. It's taken over the entire internet. I mean, everybody's talking about it.
I mean, it fits perfectly into this. I mean, they named the diss track Smallest Man for a reason, right? Like, it immediately alluded to, Brie's been talking a lot about Taylor Swift and her lyrics. It's just had such an impact on her, and she was joking, like, oh, I'm so sorry, the Swifties, like, I was so wrong.
Yeah.
Like, and truly, like, Smallest Man Who Ever Lived is such a perfect description of what was happening. I mean, if you have somebody that is so insecure, he is a world famous star, selling out arenas left and right. Like, his career is at the tippity top right now. And to be that still so insecure and such of a projective, like you said, he really is a narcissist. But it's like, for Brie to tell that story of like, oh, you know, one day I had, like, you know, the Morgan Wallen song, last night we let the liquor talk. Yeah. And just, she's like, you know, stuck in my head. And I sang that little chorus out loud in the house, and he freaked out and got so mad and was like, how dare you sing another man's song in my house? Like, that is the lowest you can get. Like, truly, it's so embarrassing for him.
It's so embarrassing. It's so manipulative. Loser. It's so insecure. There's so many words to describe it. It's such a loser. And I mean, it really is. And I think Brie talked about this on the podcast as well, but it's also like, it is incredibly hard to leave those situations because you are looking for validation from that person who continuously beats you down. Like, she's singing Morgan Wallen, he's like, you can't sing that, or she's wearing a dress to the Golden Globes that he doesn't approve of, and you get in this cycle of like, they rope you in, the love bombing, you begin to love that person, now this person's beating you down, and you just want that validation from them, and it's so fucking hard to leave those situations. And even when she said that he broke up with her, and it broke my heart to hear that when she asked him for a hug and he wouldn't give her that hug. And it's like, that's like the, looking for that validation from somebody who's just like abusive to you over and over again. Like, it's such a hard cycle to break. And he did her a fucking huge favor by leaving, because she even said it herself, like, she was this close to like becoming something that she fully losing herself in that situation. It's such a dark thing, and it's just an endless cycle of fucking pieces of shit in the world that do this and behave this way, and ultimately they need help. She said it, she was like, you don't need Raya, you need therapy. But it's just insane. It really is.
It's just as manipulative as it gets, truly. And even the Golden Globes thing, like, behind the scenes, he's pissed off. He's so mad at what she's wearing. But publicly, he's posting on his story like, oh my God, she looks so beautiful. Like, that is just the most manipulative thing you can do, because in your mind, you're like, well, is he actually mad, or like, what's he? So it's
crazy.
It really is crazy. And I also think what he's still been doing is insanely manipulative. Like, he's releasing new music. He's trying to spin the narrative. He seems to be, I mean, I won't give the song a play. But I Googled the lyrics to see what he was saying. Yeah. And I was just like, oh, like, this is, he's putting songs out where he's, alluding to, it seemed to be alluding to Brie a little bit, alluding to his mom, his relationship with his mom, who has now passed, and putting that song. But just like the timing of all that and putting it out and being like, just like, it just continues this narrative for him of like, oh, I'm so damaged and broken, and like, this is why I'm the way I am. And it's just like, no, go be quiet for a little while.
No, seriously, it's just endless. And I mean, it was so clear, even like you said, with the Golden Globes, like yelling at her behind the scenes, but then posting the picture and following and unblocking her, and like clear. I mean, it was very clear. We all know it. Like, we're friends with Brie, but even the people that are like fans of Brie, you see, she always was herself. She always dressed the way she wanted to. She always dyed her hair the way she wanted to. She was constantly changing her style, had a really cool style. And then all of a sudden, the past year, you see her kind of dull herself down a little bit. Like, she even posted, I mean, this is just coming from her. Yeah. She posted her dyeing her hair the other day, like, because she was like, I can dye my hair again. Like, these manipulative tactics and making her feel like less than and smaller, because he always had to be the center of attention and take all the moments away from her. And it's like, you want someone who's gonna hype you up and be like, yeah, you look fucking great, post that shit. Oh, I'm gonna come to your tour, I'm gonna come to your birthday, I want to be there for you. And
I'm gonna support your friends.
I'm gonna support your friends. That's that's one of the biggest things, is supporting the friends and being like, you should be with your friends, hang out with your friends, your family. And it seemed like he was pulling her away from that.
Look, and he was.
The story of him, yelling at Grace and her friends and all of that. And, I know people want Grace to talk right now, but she said it herself. Like, she doesn't feel comfortable talking online just yet. She posted that story.
I think it was pretty traumatic for Grace as well. So it's one of those things where Grace can speak on it if she wants to, but that is totally her decision. I think people are starting to kind of see a glimpse of what kind of went down for them. Sadly, I think it's just like a little bit deeper. And that's like, for them to figure out. But look, for people that are, are friends and work with Brie and see her, it was crazy, because it's really like, you can't pull somebody out of that unless unless there's a wake up and they realize it. Because for us, it's like, we were like, this is, from what we were hearing, we were like, this doesn't sound good.
No.
So seeing that this is the end result now of her not being with him is definitely what we were rooting for. So it's good to see it, that it's moved in that direction. I mean, Dave put out another song. Smallest Man, like, it's just tough, because I can only imagine I can only imagine Dave's brain also with this as well a little bit, just because Smallest Man, like people were like, holy shit, this is so good. And the frustration for him that like it's not, you like people can't really listen to it as much. So he just decided to put out an entirely new song. It's called Country Ditty. Put it out Sunday night. I mean, Country Ditty is a strong statement for sure.
Yeah.
But it is once again, Dave rapping. People are getting little tidbits here and there from that. I think a lot of people have jumped on that Pink Skies line that Zach had written Pink Skies about Grace, and
well, it's not. It's like I think those lyrics were misinterpreted because it's not about Grace. It was written about Grace's grandma's funeral. Which is just
right. But it's just like that's not as catchy for a rap lyric.
Right. You can't like put that into the that into the lyric. I mean the whole thing is so
But that's another thing where I'm like, I feel like like it's got to be really tough for Grace too, because I don't like that gets thrown out and then you're like, I mean, come on guys.
Right.
Like,
and then Grace feels
do I need to be thrown right? Like it's once again Grace's grandma's funeral. Like it's a very personal thing that we're just putting on blast now. For everybody also to dissect and have commentary.
Right. And then it's like, Grace is out there doing her thing. She's crushing the comedy tours. And she probably just, wants to just, she even said it herself. It was an up and down year for her as well. She posted that on her stories. So I think
100%.
People kind of need to just leave Grace alone right now as well.
So I don't know how many I like a diss song, a diss track, it works, it hits, and Smallest Man really fucking hit. And now it's kind of like, he obviously wanted to put out another one because the first one keeps getting taken down, but it's like we could probably end it at this one. I don't really think you could get stronger than calling somebody Country Ditty.
Right. And I think Smallest Man was like the one.
Yeah, it was.
Smallest Man was the one. It was really catchy and unfortunately got taken down, but it was the one.
Tinder Bumble Raya.
You was a liar.
Yeah. That Noah Khan line is so fucking good, even though it knows you're the real con man. Ooh.
Yeah. So good. I mean, there's just so many details, so many things. But he clearly, it's all the signs of a narcissistic, abusive person, making her dress a certain way, isolating her from her friends and family, screaming at her behind closed doors about listening to someone else's fucking music. Like, be more insecure. You're the most insecure person on the planet Earth. Like, it's just crazy. It really is. It's really insane. But I'm rooting for Brie to get back to herself now and put this disgusting man behind her.
Agreed.
And for all his exes as well to just put this disgusting man behind them as well, because he fucking sucks so bad.
So bad.
He sucks so fucking
Stinks
bad.
out loud. Could not stink out loud more.
Could not stink out loud more than he does. All right, moving on. We are going to be talking about the Grammy nominations. Now, we did mention these pretty recently, talking about Grammy nominations, about how it was going to be a big year for the girls in pop because they fucking crushed this year, and there were some snubs. I mean, pop album of the year got a ton of recognition, ton of people not nominated. Sorry, just burped. But Ariana Grande, Eternal Sunshine, snubbed from the Grammys.
From album of the year, which was really surprising because I actually think when the last time we were talking about it, I had it like I think I had it maybe on my list as like a sleeper like win for album of the year. I was like, so I was very surprised by that, but the ladies are definitely dominating. Beyonce led the nominations with 11. And then it was Billie Eilish, Kendrick Lamar, Post Malone, Charlie XCX, so a four-way tie for the second largest number of nominations with 7. And then behind that are Taylor Swift, Sabrina Carpenter, and Chappell Roan with 6. So it was one of those that for sure we were like, whoa, especially for album of the year, right? Like, so album of the year, it's Andre 3000 for New Blue Sun, Beyonce, Cowboy Carter, Sabrina Carpenter, Short and Sweet, Charlie XCX, Barat, Jacob Collier. This is where I'm like uncultured swine. I don't know who that is.
I honestly don't know who that is.
Yeah. Billie Eilish, Hit Me Hard and Soft, Chaperone, Rise and Fall of a Midwest Princess, Taylor Swift, Tortured Poets Department. So, yeah, I think a lot of people were surprised. No Eternal Sunshine in this category. Nothing in Record of the Year as well, or Song of the Year. She is in Pop Vocal Album, I believe, but Record of the Year, you got Texas Hold'em, Espresso, 360, Birds of a Feather, Not Like Us, Good Luck Babe, Fortnite, and Now and Then by the Beatles. Sometimes the Grammys, like the
Beatles
Grammys
snuck in there.
Like the Grammys have to Grammy, you know? Mm-hmm. Where every year you're like, oh, I mean, there's just so much, there's so many amazing things to choose from. Like everything that's going to get nominated is so good. I mean, I understand it's the Beatles, but like the Beatles are putting out music as the Beatles?
That was like
Is it an old song?
No, that was like a one-off thing where they like had certain stuff recorded already, and then they finally like put it all together. I don't think that wasn't anything new that they recorded. I think it was just like from the vault.
So it's like like they went deep in the past and
mixed it together,
pieced it together for a new song.
Good for Paul and Ringo, the only ones.
Yeah, right. Like
John Lennon's looking down, like woo.
Yeah. Just like, sometimes they just really get you. Song of the Year was a bar song, Birds of a Feather, Die With a Smile, which is Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars, Fortnite, Good Luck Babe, Not Like Us, Please, 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 Texas Hold'em. So it's interesting that Sabrina got a nom for Please, Please, Please for Song of the Year, Record of the Year, Espresso.
Yeah, I think Sabrina Carpenter's going to have a big year at the Grammys.
Yeah.
I think. I hope, honestly. I feel like she deserves it. Like, for
she's
me,
in the best new artist category too.
Yeah, and she made a video being like, I'm old. Or like, she's been around for a while.
It is funny though, because I do sometimes think that artists, not that they're unaware, but you have to be like, so you have to submit.
Yeah, you have to submit yourself.
You know?
I just saw a video about Phineas, Billie Eilish's brother. He didn't even submit himself for Producer of the Year this year. He's like, I already won. He's like, I don't care.
Good for him. Because I know, I saw a lot of people being like, well, Phineas snub for Producer of the Year.
Yeah, he just said, I didn't submit myself.
Yeah, right, exactly. So it's like, if you don't do it, like, so that's where maybe Sabrina isn't fully aware of every category she's being, that they submitted her in, but they submitted her for Best New Artist. So.
Right, and I think she was confused by that because she's like 6 albums deep. But hey, that always happens when somebody pops off one year and they've been around for a while.
Yeah.
But I think Sabrina Carpenter, if I had to pick, and we could all go around and say our choices, but if I had to pick for the best album, I'm gonna go Sabrina Carpenter. For me personally, that's the one I've listened to the most. Well, besides Beyonce.
Album of the Year.
Beyonce too. Taylor Swift just wasn't my personal favorite album of hers. Obviously, I know how good it is and how much people really loved it. But the other ones, for me, listening wise, came out more on top.
Yeah.
And I also, shout out to Charlie XCX. It was Brad Summer. You know what I mean?
It was, and I'm. Hopefully, it's cool for her, because I feel like she's never cared about this shit,
Mm-hmm.
And for her, I feel like with Brat, she was like, here's. I'm putting out an album the way I want to do it, and my sound and my creative, and like, she's like, okay, it's being recognized.
Yeah. What do you guys think for? I know we discussed this a couple of weeks ago, but now that the nominations
are fully out, I mean, I would go Beyonce or Taylor Swift. I just think it's the Grammys,
Yeah.
I personally, if I was a voter, I'm going Beyonce.
Yeah, like I'm saying, like you personally. Yeah, I think I would go Beyonce or Sabrina.
I think I would still go Beyonce or Taylor. Taylor Swift, it's tough for me. I love the Sabrina album for sure. It says it all right there in the title. But like, Short and Sweet is a great album. It's like 40 minutes.
Right,
to listen
right.
to. It's as a body of work, I think Tortured Poets Department is so like.
That's true. When you're thinking about every detail of the body of the work, the lyrics, the music, everything that goes into it, how many songs, like.
And I don't want to discredit, like, Sabrina's album is great, and I listened to it a ton for sure, but I'm trying to put myself in the mind space of like the Grammys, and like that's.
But sometimes people kind of like the shorter albums are like, concise.
Yeah,
and
no,
there's
I
not,
100%,
like, a lot of fat on the
100%.
album. Taylor Swift, how many songs was that on that? Like,
no,
I think a lot of people would
and
argue
then there's
that
a lot of
shorter.
songs on that album that I think people forget are even on the album. I mean, there's like 30 something songs.
How did Two Most Wanted not get nominated for Record of the Year? I thought that would have for sure been like.
Yeah. I mean, I guess.
But they put Texas Hold'em on, so.
Yeah, I think.
I think in that world you have to like you just got to pick. Like if you're Beyonce's team, like you're submitting, you got to like go. You got to pick one and go hard for it.
It's
you know,
the one, like I
Like
would
Us
think,
is gonna
like
win.
most commercialized one would
I
probably.
feel like
get.
Not Like Us is probably going to win that.
Not listen.
record of the year.
Record of the year.
I like that record of the year is where I could maybe go Espresso.
Oh, that.
I see. I think Espresso
You know?
might win.
Like
record
that's
of the
where
year.
I would go. Maybe not album of the year, but I could go just like the Espresso of the year was Espresso of the year.
Espresso of the year.
Espresso was like the catchiest song of the year
Yeah.
by far. And I feel like sometimes record of the year falls in that like virality kind of situation because the production of it is
I
just
could
like
also
I
see
mean it's like one of the catchiest songs.
Yeah.
Barone sneaking in a win for like.
Yeah.
album.
I think.
Yeah.
I think Espresso definitely catches. But I will say, Not Like Us. I still listen to like every day, and
Same.
it would be hilarious if he won a Grammy for this song because Drake says in Family Matters, Kendrick just opened his mouth, someone go hand him a Grammy right now because he like makes fun of the fact that Kendrick wins these Grammys. It would be poetic if
It would.
Kendrick just wins a Grammy for Not Like Us.
It would.
Also for album of the year, I just have to say like the fact that I love Andre 3000 as rap. Like he's one of the greatest rappers ever. But the fact that he made a flute album. And he's not, like, he even himself is like, I'm not the best flute player. I just wanted to make a flute album. And that got nominated for Album of the Year. Like, you can't tell me people are listening
I mean,
to
there's just like some artists that just like could fart on tape
That's what
and
I'm
would get
saying.
nominated
Like,
for
he just
album of
got-
the year. You know, like no matter what Taylor Swift
Kendrick.
puts out, like it's gonna get
like, the
you
best
know?
flute player in the world has put out an album. And that has not been nominated for Album of the Year. But
Yeah.
Andre 3000 starts playing the
Watch
flute.
them just
and they're like, here you go.
Yep.
That's
no,
that's what happens.
It's true. I think Chaperone has a good chance to win some. I personally, Good Luck Babe is like not one of my favorites, but I don't know if that's like because of the time thing. Like Good Luck Babe actually came out this year, so I don't. But obviously her previous album was nominated. But pop solo performance is all the ladies as well. Bodyguard is the Beyonce, Espresso, Apple, Birds of a Feather, Good Luck Babe. Pop duo group performance, Pump for Gracie Abrams and Taylor Swift. Like I love that song. It's a great fucking song. Levi's Jeans, Beyonce and Post Malone, Guess, Charli XCX, Billie Eilish. This is where The Boy Is Mine is Ariana Grande's nomination there with Brandy and Monica, and then Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars. And then pop vocal album is where Eternal Sunshine is nominated. And that's also all women. I think for like the first time in a really long time, or maybe ever. I saw some stat was like it was the first time that category's been only female.
Listen, the women are dominating.
Yeah.
Music
100%.
this year.
100%. And then dance pop recording, yes, and Ariana Grande got nominated for that as well. And then Cowboy Carter is a country in the country category.
Not at the
Country songs.
CMAs, but at
The Grammys, they're considering it country. So it's gonna be great. It's gonna be it's gonna be fun. Grammys. You're gonna get all those stars out. You know, if you get just pop vocal album, getting all those ladies in one room together, it's amazing.
It's amazing. It's going to be an incredible show. I'm excited to watch it. I'm excited to see who comes out winning. They all deserve it. I mean, all incredible, like such an incredible year for music.
Yep.
So props to all of them. But I guess that moves us into Ariana.
Should we just talk about Ariana?
Moves us into Ariana Grande, who was snubbed. Eternal Sunshine did not get nominated, but now Ariana Grande, she's on the Wicked press tour. Wicked premiere this weekend in LA. People are fucking raving about this movie. They're saying it's like the best movie they've ever seen.
I'm like itching.
No,
like,
it's
I'm like literally like I'm like itching. To
people
see this
are
movie.
freaking the fuck out over Wicked. But besides the point, Ariana Grande mentioned how she's probably going to be moving away from pop music for a little bit, more Broadway comedy. I think that after everybody sees this Wicked movie, just from what I'm seeing from the people who were at the premiere talk about this movie, that Ariana Grande like just fucking blows it away, which is not surprising. She is so fucking talented and has shown her talent since we were young kids. And not only is she a pop star, but she's an amazing actress, vocalist, everything. So I really think she can do it all. Whatever she wants to put her heart and soul into, she's going to do, and it's probably going to be phenomenal.
Absolutely. She was on the Las Culturistas podcast, and which I watched the whole thing, and I will say I loved it. I thought it was really great. It's long, which is great, but I just feel like I needed that I needed to see Ariana Grande in that setting. She and Bo and Yang are very good friends. And some like these short clips that go viral, like all these things of Ariana, but then like this was like an hour and a half plus of them sitting down, talking about their friendship, their relationship, like joking about other things, talking about Wicked, like really getting into the weeds, talking about Wicked. And she had said, like, I don't freak out. Like, I know my fans like are gonna lose their shit here. Like, but it's okay. Like, I will always be in music. Like, I will never not be. But just the rate that she's been going is probably not what she's gonna continue doing. Like she said, I'll always make music, but I can't do it for the next 10 years like I've done it the past 10 years. And she's reconnecting with this part of her that loves musical theater, loves comedy. So she wants to like find roles that really feed that love, which is so great because, Ariana Grande is such a massive, massive pop star that you kind of forget like Victoria, Sam and Kat, like you kind of forget like that's what started, and she was so funny. And she is really funny. Yeah. She's great at impressions. She's great at like all these things that that can take her into like take her down different avenues. So I'm excited to see what she does with it because like I said, the both of them, her and Cynthia, everybody's raving about how amazing they are in Wicked. So if she wants to go down and do more like musical theater, or maybe she wants to actually do a show on Broadway, it would be, she'd absolutely crush it. She would be unreal. It'd be so good.
She could do anything that she really wants to. Her talent just is in every form, you know, like, and we've seen that since we were younger. So at this point, we just need Wicked to get here because the way that people are just raving about this movie is.
Oh, I wanted to say, I forgot.
What?
On our Instagram, on our clip from the show where we pitched the idea for Wicked sing-along screenings, that certain screenings should be sing-along and some not. Kristen Chenoweth herself, the OG, commented, agree.
Yes, she did.
So she's backing the idea. She thinks it's a great idea, and I'm surprised nobody's contacted us on how that they're going to implement this idea.
Kristen Chenoweth, we need your funding. And
yeah, it was just like, hey, AMC can put out a statement that we came up with this idea, and they're going to do it.
And we're going to be needing Kristen's support all the way because they're not just going to listen to two little mere girls like us saying we want to sing along. We need Kristen Chenoweth, the queen of Broadway, to step in and say, hey, these ladies are onto something. We need to sing along.
We also saw the comment when we were in the Christmas bar, and nothing could have been a better setting. Oh my God. Like, as we're like sitting in this fake Whoville, we're like talking about Kristen Chenoweth commenting and agreeing with the idea. I was like, I love it.
It was like the Broadway angels came down above and just blessed us on our shoulders while we were in Whoville to tell us that Kristen Chenoweth commented on this video.
I'm so excited. I'm even just like, I just can't wait. I know it's going to be so good, the movie, but I'm just so excited for the soundtrack too, and to listen to all their versions of the songs.
It's going to be so good.
It's going to be so good. I can't freaking wait.
So good. Moving on to the last topic, and really just not very important news, but something that we're okay with, is JT from Southern Charm has stepped away. And you know what? Good.
I only kind of wanted to
That's how I feel about it.
I really only wanted to bring this up to just like double down on like, bye.
To double down on the fact that we think he's a loser, and now that he's losing the show, it's like he's moving the show,
right? We're
leaving
like,
the show. I can't fucking speak.
No, it meant in a way that was like, hey, we don't, cool, like,
bye.
Thanks. He wrote, it comes with a heavy heart to share that I have resigned from Southern Charm. It's also, he did it in such a douchey way too, because they're in the middle of, like, he did it while, I'll just read what he said. It'll make more sense.
Because the season's about to air.
Yes, so they're doing
it's in
like
promo.
They're doing their
press,
but they're confessionals. Like they're still filming those, like the interviews, testimonials. Yes. He said yesterday, I informed Bravo that I will not be participating in the 2 to 3 remaining green room interviews remaining before the season airs on December 5th. He said, I've done about approximately 9 thus far leading up to today, and that I no longer wish to participate in any way moving forward with the TV show. He said he would leave it at that for now as he makes moves to recover both physically and mentally from what has been an extremely challenging and exhausting year. Based on the season 10 trailer, it seems Thomas will battle with a new opponent when the show returns. The sneak peek revealed he has a tense interaction with his co-star Madison LaCroix after another cast member, Craig Conover, told her that Thomas referred to her as a bitch. Yeah. Soon after the trailer's release, a woman on social media came forward alleging to have been also involved with Thomas while the show was filming, which led many fans to speculate that he was creating a storyline for the series. Basically that he was just like lying to like have stuff to say on the show, you know? But it's also like I said, a move where you're, you've done approximately 9 so far and you're just not going to do the last 2 or 3. Spare me. That's all. Spare me.
It's just
spare
further proof what we thought about him being a little weasel. Like,
Yep.
You've done the fucking show. Just finish it off and then get on your merry way after the fucking show ends.
It's like finish it and then get on your high horse and say like, I'm leaving the show.
Oh, and you think you're better than the show. Like, move along here. You brought nothing besides being a little weasel, and you'll continue to be a little weasel, in my personal opinion. That's how I feel about JT.
Yep.
So, see ya.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, that wraps up the topics.
The Weekly Watch Report is presented by Coors Light. From overcrowded stores and flight delays to awkward family dynamics and dinner mishaps, the holidays are far from perfect, but that doesn't mean we have to lose our chill. Forgotten ingredients don't have to ruin dinner. Takeout and Coors Light are always crowd pleasers. When the mountains turn blue, it's as cold as the Rockies. Coors Light is cold lagered, cold filtered, and cold packaged for a smoother finish. I think this is the time of year where you got lots of events going on. Maybe you got some ugly sweater parties, some office parties, some Thanksgiving, some Friendsgivings. Make sure you have your Coors Light with you. Everybody will love it if you show up. You can't show up to a party empty-handed. So make sure you have your Coors Light and choose chill this holiday season and reach for a Coors Light. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door. Visit CoorsLight.com/chicks, or you can find it pretty much anywhere that sells beer. And always celebrate responsibly from Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
All right, let's get into the Weekly Watch Report, where we talk about the things we watched this week. Weekly Watch Report on Monday. Weekly Watch Report on Monday. Weekly Watch Report on Monday. Weekly Watch Report on Monday.
Ooh.
Boom. Okay,
That
so
a few octaves down.
I did. It felt right in the moment.
Yeah.
It was also the dance move I was doing with it that if you're not watching on YouTube, then you couldn't see the dance move, and it kind of fit the voice of the character I was going for. Big spoilers coming ahead. We're going to be talking about Outer Banks. So
Spoiler alert.
If you're not caught up on Outer Banks, then I would sadly turn off the rest of the episode, because it's going to be majority Outer Banks, because that's all I watched or had time to watch this weekend when I got home Sunday night.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler
alert. And honestly, good for you if you haven't seen the spoilers, because we were dodging them left and right all weekend. You got spoiled. I did not. However, I kind of knew something, because I knew when you guys were talking about it at lunch, and then I walked away, and then I came back and I heard Noah go, oh, maybe he wanted to leave the show. And I was like, God fucking damn it.
I'm not going to blame that on Noah, because I'll blame it on myself, because I had told the group that I got spoiled. And then Noah said he wanted to know the spoiler, which is fair. If you want to know the spoiler, I'm going to tell you the spoiler. You know what I mean?
I was begging to not know the spoiler.
And you walked away. And let me be clear, you walked away. So I told Noah the spoiler. And it was just bad timing. It was bad timing. But I got fucking spoiled.
Yeah.
I got fucking spoiled
on Friday morning.
Early, I got fucking spoiled, and I'm fucking pissed about it.
Yeah.
It was Thursday.
Thursday.
It was Thursday. We landed in Nashville. We were in the Uber to the hotel, and I turned to you and I said, I just got fucking spoiled. I was pissed off. And let me tell you why. Because I saw a spoiler that I thought maybe could be fake, because it was from a random Twitter account, and I thought, ooh, they're just fucking around. This can't be real. Until E! News decided to post a headline, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. One of the major cast members killed off this season of Outer Banks. I said, what the fuck? What the fuck, E! News?
Yeah.
Why are you making that big headline? 5 hours after the show was fucking released.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Crazy.
Do not put in a headline.
You gotta at least wait the weekend.
One of the major characters was killed off Outer Banks. You make that a headline?
Yeah.
That's a huge spoiler because now I know the spoiler that I saw is now real and it's confirmed. So I was PO'd.
As you should be.
PO'd about it because I knew I wasn't going to be able to watch till Sunday night. So I was fucking pissed off. But moving along. Yes, JJ was killed off the show. Now, I don't know what the fuck is going on between Madison and Rudy in real life. But apparently,
I mean, the fans have gone wild.
the fans have gone absolutely batshit with rumors and stories. And I want to know what happened. Why did JJ get killed off this show? Now, the directors, the creators, they're saying it was always their original plan to kill JJ off the show.
Yeah, they said that this is the direction they were always going in, and when they told Rudy about it, he was excited about the character arc for JJ, and was like okay with it happening. And that's the story they're selling us. That this was always in the cards, and Rudy was ready for it, and seemed to have welcomed it.
And if any character was going to die, it was going to be JJ.
100%. I mean, also
He's
like
reckless.
We
He
did
deserves
say
to die.
we also did. I mean, after part one, we were talking about part one. We were like, somebody's probably going to die, and if it's going in the direction we think it is, it's going to be JJ.
JJ's going to be the one to go because
Yeah.
he's a madman. And Sarah Cameron's pregnant, and that is even beside the point. Listen, like I saw that theory,
I
threw that out
laughed
there.
out loud when I saw that.
I threw that out there last week. I was like,
Yeah.
"There's no way. It is way.
No, it is
It's
way.
happening.
It's so way.
It's so way. They're with child, but that's not even whatever. Besides even the context of the show and what happened in these episodes, because what creative liberty did they take? The rest of these episodes.
No, I'll be honest. I loved how we got to Morocco. Like I was like giggling watching in my hotel room on Friday because I was like, not only has Rafe just like found this giant fishing boat, but they leave to go to Morocco. So they're going across the ocean to Africa. They're making the whole trip. They locked Rafe in the back. How many days was he down there? You know, he was locked down there for a while, and then they hit the storm of all storms. There's always a storm.
Always a
I know
storm.
Outer Banks are going to put him on a boat, and there's going to be a storm, and they just fucking tossed pregnant Sarah Cameron right off the side of the boat. There she goes. JJ jumps in to save her. They're in the middle of the ocean. We have no idea where they are. No clue what happens. But don't worry, they wash ashore.
I couldn't believe what I was watching in these episodes, and I keep seeing people say that this is Riverdale 2.0.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
First
At
of all,
least it's not. I mean, I guess actually there's some magic involved here. The crown is like magic. So.
no, there's magic involved now. And if they bring back JJ next season because of how mad people are, they killed him off. It's going to be true Riverdale. They can't do it. They cannot bring JJ back. But Sarah Cameron being pregnant, thrown off the boat, the whole thing. And I hope. I don't even want to say what I think that they might do next season after all that. But whatever. Going back to JJ. This scene with the police in the 6th episode, and they're playing Black Sabbath, and he's running around with a baseball bat, and he's smashing windows.
Yeah, he's having his Joker moment.
And it's like slowed down. I was like,
his Harley Quinn moment.
No, I truly was cracking up watching. Like it was supposed to be like dead serious, and I was like, what am I watching right now? Like this is the editing choice, the slow-mo moving to really fast. I was like, this is some creative liberty they took on this episode, and I love it and I hate it at the same time. Like I couldn't get enough.
I know.
But I also was like, what is happening?
Also, just the fact that he got out of that cop car, like,
How did he get out?
Also, like, they weren't like arrested for being an accomplice to pulling him out of a cop
Well,
car.
no,
Like,
guys, let's like the
Shoop he's got no control of them.
honestly, and you know what? Shoop like maybe my favorite character, like because honestly, I love him because he is a sheriff, but deep down he just wants these kids to do his job. You know?
Yeah.
Like he's like not even do his job, but when Rafe like convinced him to let them go. He was like, come on, Shoop, let us go to Morocco. Come on.
Yeah, kids, go to Morocco. No, the whole thing's ridiculous. And to go back to the JJ and Key, like Rudy Madison thing.
Yeah. TikTok has gone crazy.
They must fucking hate each other because her acting in these episodes.
Yeah.
and I'm trying to be nice, but it's
So I saw something that said
poor quality.
I saw
It's poor
something that
quality.
said they filmed 1 through 5, and then they filmed 10.
Yes.
And then they filmed 6 through 9, which is interesting, and I almost feel like it's kind of transparent when now, like, looking back at the episodes, knowing that. But those last few episodes for me, and it's no fault of Madison's. Like, I think just the creators and writers just unfortunately haven't given her much to work with like with any character growth for Key, because all she's doing
over and over
is
again
yelling for JJ every episode. JJ, come on, JJ, hurry up, JJ, where are you, JJ, what you're doing, what are you doing? Is the whole, she must have said JJ hurry up when he was climbing up for the crown 15 times. Like, I was like, oh my god, okay, we got it, this needs to be condensed.
No,
we cannot. It was
totally, and I feel
it
like
was, and it's tough because I thought she, like, as a character, deserved better than just like only worrying about JJ the entire season.
1,000,000%, because I feel like Madison, as an actress, the beginning seasons of Outer Banks, she had so much personality. Key had so much personality, great character, and then you get to these episodes, and I feel like they dulled down her character to just be like, oh shit, JJ, the entire thing. She was probably frustrated, Madison, as an actor, having these lines given to her where the only thing she's doing is yelling about JJ for fucking 5 episodes straight, and it did not translate. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know how much of this I can take. Sort of like you. I was like, we gotta condense this shit up, and let's get to the point here. Now JJ's dead, and I need to know what happened behind the scenes in real life, that we are now at the conclusion that Madison and Rudy fucking hate each other so much they had to use stunt doubles to cuddle.
Yeah, so
they had to use stunt doubles to fucking cuddle.
This is,
imagine.
I saw one that was like they didn't have to use stunt doubles when they were like rats and stuff.
Madeline didn't. Yeah,
Madeline and Chase, who dated in real life. And I think they fucking lived together. They got a dog.
Yeah.
And they broke up. And they still have that strong chemistry as John B. and Sarah Cameron. And these two are getting fucking stunt doubles? They're using stunt doubles to cuddle?
Yeah, I mean, look, we don't have, like, there is, the evidence is TikTok. Like, the viewers are absolutely convinced that this is a thing, that there is a scene where...
I'm convinced.
And I mean, when you watch the scene back, I get it too, because it's like they're cuddled up, but it cuts to JJ's face and then down to Key's face and then up. So they're never in the frame at the same time. And then there is a screenshot that is being shared where it looks like it's JJ's stunt double in that scene. So people are really losing their shit over that. I think there's been a lot of drama with their significant others, at least. And who knows, like, I'm sure for them it's got to be extremely frustrating because the Outer Banks fans, like, they are digging deep into their personal lives. And there was a time years ago, it was like 3 years ago, I went back to look, that Rudy had posted about, like, respecting his girlfriend and privacy and, like, all these, wrote this whole long message because she was receiving some hate from Outer Banks fans. And it's still happening because they think she is a big reason why things deteriorated for the character, and that they were not getting along, and that they didn't want them to be filming these romantic scenes together, and that Madison's girlfriend didn't like it.
Yeah, I was going to say they're blaming Madison's girlfriend too.
They're blaming both of them, and I don't know. It almost seems like too much, where it's like they're all jumping on this story that I'm like, there's got to be something else going on here. I don't know what it is, but it really did seem like they were the chemistry was lost there for them, for sure. I think fans, when the Giara storyline started, I think the Outer Banks fans loved it so much, and they wanted it to, like, blossom and be as great as the Sarah and John B connection, and it just didn't seem like they just didn't get there. Like they just didn't get there, you know?
And it's also having to do with the character of JJ. Like he's not the guy that John B is.
No,
and he's
right.
not going to show Key the love that
Right, like
that John
she's
B's
like,
gonna
we
show
haven't
Sarah
ever gone
Cameron.
on a date, JJ. Like that's, where they're at.
Yeah, and then when he smashed the window and stole the ring, people are thinking he was stealing that for Key, and I'm like, was he stealing that for Key? Because I don't think this man showed any interest in her. Really, it was like
No.
everyone was very, that whole storyline's very confusing. But I mean, at this point, these actors got to be like, if there was nothing going on, right? If there was nothing, maybe the rumors are not true, but if they still were friends and still liked each other, they'd hop on their Instagrams and be like, guys, this is fucking ridiculous.
Right.
Da 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 da. Because of how much it spiraled. There has to be something that happened. I'm just not sure any of these rumors are true.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I agree. I think it's like, and the rumor mill is swirling. Like I've seen people, a lot of unverified sources are speaking out. I'm seeing all these TikToks that are like, this person was on set and they said this. And I'm like, we're really spiraling, and everyone's like, everything everyone's reading on TikTok, they're taking as fact. So, I don't know if we'll see any more of this. The story that they're selling us is that JJ was always going to die, and that was the plan. And now season 5 is going to be the final season. Like they will avenge JJ. I will say, Groff, good evil guy. He really hated his guts.
Mm-hmm.
Really a bad guy. Good villain. Good villain.
For the sake of rating this show and for the sake of it being Outer Banks.
Yeah, I mean 6 through 10, I think gets like
I don't even know.
I don't
even know.
I'll give it a C.
That's what I had, I think.
I'll give it a C.
All right, let's do a collaborative C.
I liked the last episode. I liked 10 better.
Mm-hmm.
Like I thought 10 was like 10. If I was grading the episodes individually, 10 would get a higher grade.
Yeah.
But collaboratively for 6 through 10, it's going to be
I only
it's going
watched
to be a
7.
C.
We'll do C. And you know what? If next season this cast has undeniable fucking chemistry,
Yeah.
Then we know.
something was up.
Mm-hmm.
Something was up.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? Fucking props to Madeline and Chase, because those two are holding it down hard. They holding it down.
I mean,
hard.
they're having a baby.
I'm having a baby.
Having a
Kicking and
baby.
screaming. All right. Well, that's literally everything I watched. I did not watch a single other.
I watched the Martha documentary on the plane to Kansas City. I was like, where were we going?
What flight? What day?
Yeah, and I thought it was great. I think she is a powerhouse human being. I think there's been, people love to say she's a massive bitch, and you know what? There's instances where she probably is.
You know what?
But
fuck it.
You to be honest, like I don't think you become the first female self-made billionaire in this country without like ruffling some feathers.
No, you have to. And you have to be a bitch.
Yeah.
You have to be.
Or without paying your taxes.
Yeah. Well, besides
that's
the point.
not what happened, by the way.
What do you mean? Isn't that why she went to jail?
No, so it's everyone, we were so young when that happened. It felt like she committed the biggest crime in the entire world. Basically, she got knocked for insider trading, but they couldn't prove it was insider trading. They couldn't prove it was insider trading, so they got her on like lying about it was like such a bullshit case.
Insider trading, whatever. Someone gave her a tip.
It was like
Who cares?
Yes. And it wasn't even the guy directly he went to jail big time because it was his company.
How long was she in jail?
She was in jail for 5 months, I think.
Pretty badass. No,
So
you have to be, because people will step all over you if you do not stand up for yourself. But then it's always with women.
Yeah.
That if you stand up for yourself or you tell someone they did something or whatever, you get labeled as like a diva or a bitch or whatever it is, just because you're standing up for something.
Mm-hmm.
That's really.
And she was very particular about her brand. Like like they talk about in the documentary, her brand was her. Like it was the Martha Stewart brand.
You have to be particular about that.
Exactly. So I thought it was a really good watch. I thought it was very well done. And she does crack me up. I mean, at 83 years old now, like she just doesn't give a flying fuck either. So, but it was funny. They do a whole portion of how like the Justin Bieber roast like really gave her this like cultural significance again with a younger audience that didn't really know her from her biggest days. It was like people our age who, when like the biggest things that were happening with Martha Stewart was when we were really little and she was going to jail. And that was like kind of what we had remembered. And of course it was like Martha Stewart living and there's the catalog and all her branded things and things like that. But it was just like I did not really realize, I feel like, those earlier years for her. And so it was really good. I'll give it a B+. I thought it was good. And there's a new season of Love Island Australia. It's streaming on Hulu.
Yes.
I love Love Island Australia. I think it's always like, it's not like great, but it's just, yeah, I think the Australians are funny. So Love Island Australia, the first couple episodes, there's some good twists already. I'll give like a B-. Good, but yeah, that's everything I watched.
I watched the last 2 episodes of Shrinking. I'm like liking it more. I think I just have accepted
I have to catch
the
up.
corniness of it. But
Accept the show for what it is.
It's an easy watch.
Yeah.
It's an easy like 30 minutes or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I'll give it a B, like the last 2.
That's solid.
Outer Banks, I watched episode 7, which is the first one of this new.
6.
6 is the first
6
one.
is the first one?
Yeah.
Wait, which one is the one where they all like jump on the police car and he
6.
burns everything?
6.
Okay, so I watched 6. Okay, maybe I'll watch 6 and 7 then. Either way, I was at the hotel trying to watch, and for some reason, episode 8 was just muted, so I just gave up. But I'll give it a C. I'm just like, it's so ridiculous now, and I feel like they're just completely running out of ideas.
Well, they're after a Magic Crown.
Yeah, they're going to be in space next season.
Yeah.
So when I couldn't watch that, I saw like next to it was, remember the show Your Honor? It was Bryan Cranston. I had like watched half of season 2 and never finished it, and I was like, I might as well just finish this. So I turned it on, and it was like all right. It ended really badly in my opinion, but I'll give it a C+. Like Bryan Cranston's a great actor. So,
Yeah.
And then I watched the finale of Penguin last night, which was
How was it? Don't spoil. I mean, we
I won't
obviously
I know.
spoil it.
I've heard it.
We
was,
need-
I,
we-
I
we got
heard
a lot
it
of
was
time to
amazing.
catch up
I got to
now,
catch
yeah.
up this week. I watched I forgot I watched the Penguin episode 3 last night. I'm only on 3.
I know. I'm still on 2.
it was incredible. It
Yeah.
really does feel like you're watching a movie, like each episode. I don't want to spoil anything, but yeah, it's hard
Really
'cause
good.
I don't want to spoil anything.
Are you finally going up to A+?
You know what? I'll give it an A+. I wasn't going to, but you know what? Let me give it an A+ because like I didn't the whole season, and it easily could be. Like,
yeah.
It's incredible. Like I can't say anything.
Yeah,
can't
no,
say
I
anything.
know. It's
Yeah, you would be a really hard grader, I think, if you were a teacher.
Oh, I would. Like at least for like an English paper or something.
You would be a really
I
hard
would be
grader.
really hard.
How do you think you would be as a grader?
I feel like Fran would be hard.
no, I think I'd be pretty middle range.
But like I don't get it. Like if you're a teacher, I mean, when I was a student, I obviously would have hated you if you're a hard grader. But now we're looking back, I'm like, I mean, yeah, like why would you be an easy grader? That's not like helping anyone really.
That's true.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's why
I
I
know.
feel like I'd be more middle ground because I'm just like,
I wouldn't be
why,
like,
you know?
failing everyone, but
Yeah, it doesn't have to be.
I guess it depends
Terrible.
what grade.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'd cut some slack.
What else? You have anything else?
No, that's a A+
Okay.
on the Penguin.
Amazing.
Dang, I want to catch up on that bad. I got a lot of stuff I want to watch when I go home today.
Yeah.
Rest of the week, we got the rest of the week till we travel again on
I
Friday.
hope that
but,
I just saw that Colin Farrell said that like he'd be open to a season 2 if they had like a good
Right.
thing. So
yeah, because you don't want to ruin a good
no,
thing.
I
That
know.
was the-
Part
Yeah,
of me
yeah.
is like just like leave it.
Right,
Just
because
leave
it was so good. Yeah.
Dang, I want to watch. All right, that wraps up the weekly watch report. Can't speak.
Holiday party fails can turn into a great story that ends with a toast over some Coors Light. Getting snowed in can turn into the ultimate movie marathon. It doesn't matter if the holidays don't go as planned when you choose chill and then reach for a Coors Light. When you embrace a chill mindset this holiday season, it's a good time to choose chill and crack open a Coors Light. Coors Light is mountain cold refreshment, crisp and refreshing as the Rockies. You guys know there's always holiday mishaps. We're headed into Thanksgiving. Maybe something gets burnt. The turkey doesn't turn out great. Someone forgets a dessert. Whatever it is, choose chill. Reach for a Coors Light. and enjoy the holiday season. So choose chill this holiday season and then reach for a Coors Light. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door. Visit CoorsLight.com/chicks. Or you can find it pretty much anywhere that sells beer. As always, celebrate responsibly from Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
All right, that wraps up today's episode of Chicks in the Office. Thank you so much for watching and listening. We love you guys so very much. Thank you to our listeners, the people coming to the show, the people we'll see this weekend, and who listen to the show and don't come see our live shows too. We love you very much, and we'll talk to you on Wednesday.